Welcome back to another episode of the Coastal Feeds podcast. I'm your host, Braden Plord. Alongside me are my co-stars, Charlie Van Dyke, Tyler Lombardi, and Arjun Pirani. We're excited to finally have the gang all back together. We're going to be talking a lot about basketball, conference finals, and building the perfect NBA player. So let's just start right away going into the conference finals. We got the Eastern Conference Finals, got the Pacers versus the Knicks. And at the time of this recording, we got the Timberwolves versus the Knicks tonight. So let's talk about
The Thunder.
Thunder. What am I thinking? Sorry. The Timberwolves versus the Thunder tonight on the day of that we're recording. So let's talk about some key details, who we think is going to win each series, just big differences and factors that are going to count. Arjun, I'm going to start with you.
I live in New Jersey, so I'm a huge Knicks fan. We pulled up a great win over the Celtics, a little fraudulent team. But I'm looking forward to this rematch of last year's playoff series and a ticket to the NBA Finals for the first time in almost 50 years. But the key for this Knicks team is their ability to have a strong middle quarters, which is the second and third quarter for all of you guys that don't know what that means. So essentially how they come out of half and how they go into the half. Looking at the playoffs, they've struggled closing out halves and opening up halves, which let teams go on big runs. Like in the game 5 against the Celtics, they got their score doubled 32-16 in the third quarter. If that happens against the Pacers and you get Tyrese Halliburton going, and he has Pascal Siakam and Andrew Nemhard and Obi Toppin to kick out to on the drives, it's going to be a long day for them because the Knicks, quite honestly, their perimeter defense relies a lot on OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. And if they're not there to switch, that means Cat's on them, and Cat's lateral quickness is awful. So the Knicks really just got to command those middle two quarters. But if they're able to do that, I say Knicks in 6 pretty easily.
My bag. Hold up. My bag. Sorry.
You're back.
Am I alive? Hello?
Yeah,
You're
you're good.
You're
You're
alive.
good.
You're alive.
Okay. Okay. Shoot, my bad. I hate to disagree with you, Arjun. Let's be real. I don't hate to disagree with you. I think. I'm sorry. Did you say Knicks in 6?
Yeah, Knicks in 6, 100%.
I think. I mean, from what I saw of just the way Tyrese Halliburton played, I mean, it was pretty clear why he was on this Team USA team this past summer. I mean, he didn't play a second, but I mean, still, I think the way he played against the Cavs was frankly just dominant in my opinion. I think overall, I think he had such a strong performance in, I want to say, almost every game. And I would go on the other way. I would say Pacers in 6. I don't think this entire New York squad is able to just hold up to honestly just what Tyrese Halliburton's bringing, but along with just the rest of the Pacers squad, I feel like overall they really handled the Cavs really well. And I think at the end of the day, I think they're gonna be able to walk out of New York in Game 6 and go to the finals.
I actually completely agree with you, Charlie. I'm also with the Pacers here. They've had an incredibly strong run. The way they handled the Cavaliers was very impressive. Every single part of that offense was firing. Tyrese, Pascal, Miles Turner. Miles Turner, especially, I thought was having a great series. But to be able to take out a team like the Cavs in 5 is incredibly impressive. Obviously, the Cavs are a little bit injury riddled, but when the Cavs were at full strength, it didn't get better for them. The Pacers were still incredibly exceptional in all their performances. You know, they couldn't really slow Donovan Mitchell, but I'm not really sure if Brunson's going to be able to have those Donovan Mitchell type performances against the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton was absolutely incredible throughout these playoffs so far, and I do see him leading this Indiana Pacers team to the finals.
So I'm agreeing with Charlie and Tyler here. I have the Pacers in 7, and there's a couple reasons why. Number one, I just read Harry Tidgewell's article on Shot Clock Report, and I thought that he made some really good points talking about how the Knicks are so top heavy that they use their starters so much. And then you contrast that with the Pacers, who really go into their bench and get really quality minutes from every single person that plays on that roster. Another factor was last year in that playoff series, Andrew Nemhard. He was the one responsible for guarding Jalen Brunson. Struggled a little bit, so I think that's probably going to be another really big decider of this series. Is whoever is guarding Jalen Brunson, whether that be Nemhard again or someone else, they're going to have to limit him. Otherwise, the Knicks can really run away with this very quickly. But still, I think the Pacers have been playing amazing basketball throughout this entire year. Started off a little bit slow, but ever since the new year hit, they've been amazing. I think they have a little over 40 wins this season. So they've been playing great basketball. Tyrese Halliburton is heating up in the time they need it most. So Pacers in 7.
Okay, I'm gonna say this in the most respectful way. All y'all are buffoons.
No,
But the one thing, Braden, I'm just gonna start right there because this is easy money. Andrew Nemhard is an easier person to break down than Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was face guarding Brunson the whole entire series, and Brunson cooked him. You want to see the game logs? Jalen Brunson had 29, 17, the one game that he got locked up, 29, 17, 27, 39, 22, 23. That's something that he could do easily against Andrew Nemhard. He's developed so much as a passer and foul baiting. I'll admit that he's a good foul baiter in this past year. And to say for all of you to say that the Pacers in 6 is just absolutely outrageous. I know that the Knicks have a very, very, very shallow bench, but I'm telling you, the Knicks have so much grit and they have so much of an edge that I feel like they just took out the Boston Celtics. I mean, oh my God, we took them down in 6. We took them. We were gonna win that series regardless if Jason Tatum got hurt. Be serious. Regardless if Jason Tatum got hurt, we would have won that series. Not to mention the fact that Mikal Bridges showed up in that playoff series. Last playoff series, he was horrible in the Pistons. He's really showed up, and I feel like that was the huge difference maker and the big factor. But also the fact that Andrew Nemhard is not on the same level as Jalen Brunson. He's not locking him up. There's no way. There is less than a 1% chance that Brunson gets less than 15 points for a single game. I'm telling you. And I said on that, Knicks in 6.
Arjun, I am a Knicks fan myself. I don't think that the Knicks are at the advantage in this series. I mean, you can't just look at Brunson versus Nemhard. You have to look at every aspect. Mikal Bridges has been inconsistent. Yes, he showed up against the Celtics defensively. Offensively, he was still very inconsistently. He wasn't shooting it incredibly efficient. And against the Pistons, he wasn't good. You then look at Cat versus Miles Turner. I would take Miles Turner in that matchup. The more athletic center of the two is Miles Turner, and Miles Turner will be able to expose Cat's slowness. I don't think that the Knicks have the advantage when you look at all 5 positions, and then when you look at once you get into the bench. I think overall the Pacers have that advantage, and that's what's going to bring them out, and that's why I think it's Pacers in 7.
So are you trying to tell me that Obi Toppin is better than Mikal Bridges? Say that with straight face.
Is Obi Toppin starting?
Isn't Obi Toppin starting? Oh, TJ Warren. My bad.
So Arjun, if I may, I just want to make this point. At the end of the regular season, the Cavs played the Knicks and the Cavs beat the Knicks. Now, obviously, that's not enough evidence to go off alone. What I am going off is that when the Knicks lost, Brunson put up 27 by himself, which is one more than what he's currently averaging. So that means he's still putting on a relatively good performance, and he's putting on just slightly better of what he averagely does. On the Cavs, no one really stood out besides Garland, who put up 26. Everyone else is still contributing at least, except for Dean Wade, who only put up 1 point, but everyone else is still contributing at least a little bit. That's exactly back to, I want to say, Braden's point of the Pacers are going to be able to utilize their bench. The Pacers have a much deeper bench than the Knicks, and Garland's not going to be able to put up 50 for 7 games straight. I think when you look at both these teams compared side by side, the Knicks are they're going to suffer from burnout, and they might win in 7, but it's going to be enough burnout in the finals where they lose. I think that there's not enough on this Knicks team to justify them beating the Pacers, especially when Tyrese Halliburton has put up plus 30 in his past 3 games. Tyrese Halliburton's going to run through the entire Knicks team.
Oh my goodness. You guys talk so much about the bench. Have you met Tom Thibodeau? He doesn't believe in the bench. He believes in the starters running until the brakes fall off.
Okay, have you met Tyrese Halliburton? Have you met Tyrese Halliburton and how he silenced Cleveland?
He silenced Cleveland, but that is not MSG. Don't get that
Okay.
twisted.
Listen, Arjun,
Do not get that twisted.
Tyler, just give me
Fieldhouse
1
is
second.
not MSG. Do not. We have people.
Stop. Stop.
Tyler, give me 1 second. Arjun, I just want you to think. When Jason Tatum went down, the very next game, who on the Celtics went off?
Who's the white boy? Luke Cornett.
Luke Cornett looked like Wilt Chamberlain against the Knicks. Very top heavy. So you're saying a backup center in Luke Cornett is lighting up this Knicks starting roster. Then you have Derek White looking like he's at Splash Mountain the amount of times that he's just making any shot, right? What did he drop? He dropped like what? Was it I want to say 39.
Yeah, he dropped something.
He dropped a couple points.
He dropped something crazy.
Yeah. I'm not saying Derek White's a bad player, but Derek White isn't a star player. Someone like Tyrese Halliburton. So if you have the Knicks, you just said it yourself, Tom Thibodeau doesn't believe in the bench. So that means Luke Cornett is finessing the Knicks roster, the starting roster. Same thing with Derek White. He's shooting bang, bang, green on them. Now imagine what Tyrese Halliburton can do.
Green on them.
And just like Charlie was saying, this is a 7-game series. If this was 1 game, I might think about the Knicks a lot more. But when you get more fatigued over and over and over again, after multiple different games, you're going to have to rely on your bench for more minutes because you might be sore, you might be tired. The Knicks don't have that advantage. They don't have that freedom that they can do. The Pacers have that freedom, which is why I would take them in 7. Because the more games that they're going to be playing, the Pacers, I believe, are just going to continually get better. So if the Knicks want to have a chance, they're going to have to win some early on.
No, I completely agree with everything you're saying. But that's exactly what everybody said for the Celtics series. Let's be honest. The Celtics, if you match up team by team from the Pacers and the Celtics are the better team. Can we all agree on that?
Well, so I would actually make the comparison. I would make the comparison that the way Cleveland plays is a lot more similar to the way that the Knicks play. Sure, you can line them up side by side, and maybe the Knicks and maybe the Cavs are better. But the way that the Pacers are playing right now is much better than the ways Cleveland and the way that the Knicks are playing right now.
I'll agree with that. But I'm saying that the Knicks have the grit to be able to thug at a win. They'll string them together. I'll admit that Indiana's playing the best basketball in the league right now. I'll admit that 100%.
Okay, but so you don't think that the facts that the Cavs, in my opinion, were relying heavily on their leading scorer of Donovan Mitchell, which is going to be a very similar situation to how the Knicks are going to play with
Brunson.
Sorry, Jalen Brunson. I think that's going to be a very similar way. I think it's relying on the superstars is exactly how the Pacers take advantage in this series.
Tyler, go ahead.
I wanted to bring the attention over to the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight.
The second coming of Jordan.
And about the second coming of Jordan, it might be another couple years coming before they win this Western Conference Finals, because I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves, of the 4 teams in the conference finals, are by far the worst. They had quite a cupcake run to be here. They played a very injured Warriors and just a not very cohesive Lakers. They beat the Lakers in 5 and Warriors in 5, but the fact that they were struggling against a Curryless Warriors, they were letting Buddy Hield look like the greatest shooter of all time.
Whoa,
against them.
no.
Okay, let's not slander Buddy Hield.
Yeah,
Let's not throw shade at Buddy Hield, dude.
Hey,
Buddy Hield.
Did you see that Heat Game 7 performance?
Buddy Hield doesn't know what finger quotes are.
He's the only guy that can go mouth for mouth with Travis Hunter.
Hey, shout out them choppers, bro. You ever seen them?
This Timberwolves team is not ready for the occasion this year. And as much as people are praising Julius Randle in the playoffs and Anthony Edwards in the playoffs, they just simply haven't been good enough with the competition that they've faced, and they haven't dispatched it well enough. And this could be a sweep for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
You also got to think about this. We know Rudy Gobert hasn't really stepped up his game in the playoffs. I mean, you just think about last season, Defensive Player of the Year, and yet he was the target, the weakness of the Timberwolves defense. He couldn't even defend a pick and roll. I can't think of any Defensive Player of the Year that has not been able to defend a pick and roll effectively. and just consistently get cooked on it, even when he knows it's coming. Some other information. Rudy Gobert's girlfriend broke up with him before the playoffs started. So I don't know what that can entail with him, whether he's going to be affected mentally. But just like Tyler was saying, I just don't think the Timberwolves are ready at this moment for the occasion with the Thunder's roster and just how well they've been playing. I mean, Shea's probably at the free throw line right now. I mean, we never know. I think that he's just his ability to foul bait and get people in foul trouble. It's just he's probably one of the best in the entire league to do it. And I think that he'll be able to take advantage of that against the Timberwolves. I don't really see a sweep happening, but I could definitely see the Thunder winning in 6.
Yeah, I mean, immediately what comes to mind in the series is Chet Holmgren. I mean, in my head, this is like the unsung factor that's going to decide the series. You look at his stats in the regular season, he averaged 2.5 blocks per game. We'll round that up to 3 for him against the Timberwolves. And that's something if you think about blocks as an NBA stat, that completely sways the whole momentum, because getting your shot blocked is getting a steal is just one thing after another, yada yada yada. Getting your shot blocked is a confidence drainer. I mean, and you look at Chet Holmgren. If Chet Holmgren, I know lanky guards are not great against people like Rudy Gobert, but if he's able to out rebound Rudy Gobert in a couple games, out block Rudy Gobert in a couple games, Thunder are running away with the series instantly, because Anthony Edwards going up against Chet Holmgren. Call me crazy, but I'll take Chet Holmgren at the rim. And I think because of that, Thunder won the 5.
Yeah, I think that the way that Oklahoma City wins, and I was going to 100% agree with Tyler on the fact that that was a very incomplete Lakers team and a very injury-riddled Warriors team. You had no Curry, who's the greatest shooter of all time. You had in my mind just unchemistry team of the Lakers. I don't think Luka had enough time to settle in. Just my take. But I agree. I think it was not probably the best. It was not probably the best journey to the Western Conference Finals, and I'd have to agree. I think they're probably not the best. They're probably the worst of the 4 teams remaining right now. And I think that the way that Chet and the way that SGA are playing right now are simply just too strong. And I don't think Ant's going to be enough to do this by himself. I think he's got a lot of strong options with him on the team right now. But I mean, there's an extent where just SGA and Chet working together are just it's too strong. And I think you throw that in with Jalen Williams and Alex Caruso, then I mean, at the end of the day, I think yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say Lakers in 5. Lakers in 5.
Unchemistry. I've never heard that word before.
Unchemistry.
Add that to the dictionary.
It's not a word.
Okay, are you guys ready to move on to NBA skills?
Of course.
Sure.
All right.
Or MLB or no?
Just NBA.
Okay, sure. I was just gonna add, who needs Soto? Turn me up, Giants. Anyway.
Okay, so we're going to go through different categories, and we're going to choose the best NBA player of all time that fits that category. Starting off, build.
I'd say Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis is pretty easy there.
Giannis is a Greek god reincarnated.
Are you saying current?
Yeah.
You say current?
No, all time.
All time.
Oh, I thought you
Maybe
said current.
Wilt for the time period, Wilt was
Wilt
incredibly
for the time period,
athletic.
he was playing plumbers and mailmen.
Yeah,
We'll see.
and he wasn't a plumber or a mailman.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
was
dropped
a Greek
100.
god.
See,
He was an athlete playing.
Okay. I know we're building the best
So-called
NBA right now.
athletes.
Did Wilt's 100 game point happen? I want to hear your
I'll
take.
say yes. Have you
I'll
seen
say yes.
this one clip?
yeah.
It's also
Have you seen the one clip of him hitting Jelly Lay against
Yeah.
5 people?
it was a white league, so why would you lie about a black guy doing really good?
Yeah. That is true. It's also he's a foot taller than everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it
playing
happened.
Jerry.
We can agree.
Jones.
We can agree on that. Yeah.
Okay, actually 2 things. Number 1, I just saw this Dr. J highlight where he's literally dribbling, mid-dribble, palms the ball, does a cradle underneath the hoop and gets a reverse layup. It's literally
I think he's still probably the most.
literally
underrated
the
player.
craziest layup I've ever seen. You don't dribble and then palm it as it's coming up to you with just one hand. I just thought that was crazy. But let's think now. We're going purely off of build. Athleticism is a different factor.
Ah,
If
I'll go Giannis.
If we wanna,
KD.
Giannis is like pure muscle. If you want a big body, you go Shaq. But we would need to pick someone super athletic.
But
I
Shaq
said
can't
Giannis
shoot.
though because he's.
I would say KD and Giannis have a very similar build.
KD's too
They
skinny.
weigh
I
the
feel like-
same.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
Actually,
Yeah,
whoa.
I've seen
Yeah,
that.
but Giannis
No,
looks
no.
more impressive.
Yeah, Giannis,
Yeah.
Giannis has more muscle. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to
He
him.
looks better. Yeah.
I'd be more scared seeing Giannis drive versus KD drive.
Yeah, that is true. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got Giannis for the build. Athleticism, who we got?
LeBron. No,
Just-
no, we gotta keep
no.
the IQ for LeBron.
Just because I said it, I'll go with Wilt because for his time, he was so much more athletic than every other
Let me
guy
tell
who
you.
played.
Let me tell you about Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy was a dog.
What can I tell you about Bob? Man was the greatest passer. Actually, I mean, you probably do Steve Nash as the greatest passer of all time, or maybe Stockton is.
Magic
You
Johnson?
like Stockton.
What about white chocolate?
Little Jason.
Jason Williams. There we go.
He goes to my country club.
CP3.
That's sick. That's actually sick.
The most Greenwich statement I've ever heard.
Hey, Greenwich lifestyle.
Greenwich.
Greenwich lifestyle.
Athleticism, guys. Athleticism.
Living Greenwich.
Athleticism. I mean,
Okay.
you think about like current kids in the league.
Okay, I
'Cause that's like
actually
the most athletic you can get. Like
this
Matt
this
Duchene.
might be a little hot take. Okay, think about it though. Spud Webb.
I was thinking Muggsy Bogues.
Oh, I just came to my conclusion. It's Amin Thompson. I don't think you could really argue it.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not a bad
Yeah.
shout.
He might be the most
yeah.
athletic guy
Yeah.
I've ever seen play the sport.
Okay,
No, but like all time.
All time, I think he's the most athletic guy that's ever played
okay.
the sport.
Can we consider Obi Toppin? Have you seen those things where he literally jumps over the backboard and like gets the ball out?
Who's the?
Hold on.
Who was No, never mind. Actually, yeah, no. I like Tyler's answer.
Y'all trying to say Kyrie Irving or no? You want to keep it
No.
on?
Bro, athleticism, no. Amin Thompson, I'm not mad with that.
You want to send him in, Thompson?
Yeah, let's
Wait,
do
who
it.
did we say for IQ? Or did we say IQ?
We
No,
just
we
done
we-
IQ. We've done 2 categories. Body and
chill,
athleticism.
bud.
Okay.
Hold your horses. Okay. So we got Amin Thompson for athleticism. 3-point, I think this is pretty obvious.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Okay, 3-point,
Curry.
Steph Curry. We're gonna put
Steph
that
Curry.
mid-range. I got my
DeMar
pick.
DeRozan.
KD.
Sean Livingston.
Sean Livingston.
Yes.
That was my
He
pick.
didn't have a
Yes.
single one.
Excellent answer.
Sean
I'm
Livingston.
I'm pretty sure that stat is fake though.
No, he
I
didn't have a
kind
single
of
one.
do think it is. I saw a video where
What
it's like
stat is it? What stat are you referring to?
The
Sean
one where he's
Livingston
never,
missed a
a
mid-range.
mid-range shot.
No, because all the other ones either foul.
Sean
or it's like an off-ball foul.
Livingston
Or it's like
ever
There's-
missed the mid-range?
I'm on Twitter. There's literally like an hour 20 video of every single Sean Livingston mid-range attempt, and at the very end he missed like 28, which nonetheless is still extremely
Oh,
impressive.
here's a video of Sean Livingston missing a shot from mid-range.
Yeah.
I
Hold
would,
on, I'm watching
Okay.
it
I
right
think
now.
I think the Sean Livingston stat, I think it's comparable to Larry Bird Larry Fitzgerald stat that he has more tackles than dropped passes.
Are you serious?
I think it's comparable that way. That you definitely know that Sean Livingston is a demon at mid range, and Larry Fitzgerald has some of the best hands in NFL history, but it's a little outrageous.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even start counting dropped passes until quite recently.
That's true. Until Kadarius Toney entered the league, I didn't count drop passes.
Yeah.
That's a crazy story. My bad, Kadarius.
Okay, so are we going Sean Livingston for mid range?
I mean, I feel like Sean Livingston or DeMar DeRozan.
I like DeMar DeRozan more. I feel like he's known for that mid-range.
Because he had the fade. He had the
and-
bump fade.
When you say mid-range, do you include a fade?
Yeah, bump fade.
A
That's
little
You
what
know,
it
I'll
is.
say
little
it because
shimmy
Sean
fade.
Livingston was on one of the greatest Warriors teams ever. He didn't have the help, or he had the help that DeMar didn't. I mean, DeMar still had a good team. DeMar still had a good team around him, but
DeMar was 6 god.
Would we consider Kobe for this?
And the more
No.
I say it, the more I like it.
the more I say it, the more I.
No, Kobe, you can't even enter. I mean, you can entertain it, but I don't see how you can.
No.
He
DeMar-
wasn't
so
that good.
so we're going with DeMar, best mid range all time.
Sure.
All right. Post moves. I think this one could be pretty quick.
I say Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, Hakeem.
Yeah, I would go
You
with
say
Hakeem, too.
Wilt?
You said Wilt?
Wilt. The hook shot.
That's Kareem. You.
That's Kareem.
Kareem.
Oh my goodness.
That's Megan ball knowledge.
Yao Ming
Also
with
went
the
to
bing bang
UCLA.
fadeaway.
You ever? It's like, have you seen that one
Hey.
video where Evan's like, "Yo, everyone's saying like Kobe, but you think that one guy's just like, Yo Ming."
Let's talk.
Yeah, it could be Yao Ming.
Oh, Kareem.
are
The
we-
Kareem
Me.
skyhook.
Are we entertaining Simbular? He shot three post shots in his NBA career.
How many did he
27
make?
Points. Shout out King.
Dude,
He's
we're
not
doing.
playing for the
I-
Guangdong Tigers.
I think it has to be Hakeem.
It's totally Hakeem.
But
Okay.
Simbular is a close
Oh.
second.
All right, let's transition into who has the best IQ.
Braun. Rajon Rondo.
Get out of your mouth, Glaze.
Chris Paul.
That's
No,
weird.
not Chris.
I think Chris
Um,
Paul, that could be debatable.
Rajon Rondo. Are you kidding me?
I actually don't even hate the Chris Paul. I could say Steve Nash or Stockton, like I was saying earlier.
But that's
Are you
just
trying
like
to tell
court
me? Are you
that's
trying to
just
tell me
court
Chris
vision.
Paul is better ball
Yeah.
knowledge than Rajon Rondo?
Bob Cousy. I want
One of them has a ring and one of them doesn't.
The behind the back pass. Have you ever seen his behind the back pass?
Bob Cousy was a dog in 2K22.
Okay, but for IQ, I feel like
Sure.
it should probably be Chris Paul or
Yeah, CP3.
Braun.
Yeah, CP3.
Braun, Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo. Y'all are
Oh,
saying
Dan
Rondo.
Rondo.
Rondo's dog.
Kobe.
Kobe.
Teammate open. Nah.
They say, dang it,
That's IQ. He has the IQ to know he's
Me-
better than
meta,
everyone else.
meta world peace. He passed me the ball. He gave me the ball.
J.R. Smith?
No.
He's
CP3.
up there.
CP3. CP3.
We'll
Who's
go
wrong?
CP3.
No, genuinely. I can't believe you guys don't think Rajon Rondo has the best IQ.
No.
It's like saying Ricky Rubio was a better pick than Curry.
I can't believe you didn't get my Chris Paul joke. I wasn't actually saying Chris Paul.
See? Rajon
No,
Rondo.
no, but now that I think about it, I do think it's Chris Paul.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go Chris Paul for IQ.
Hey,
Dribbling.
dribbling.
Kyrie. Jamal Crawford.
Irving.
I'll go Kyrie.
I would say Jamal Crawford.
I like Kyrie.
My friend showed me like an hour of Kyrie dribbling highlights.
Yeah.
It convinced
I'd
me.
say Kyrie
It
just for
indoctrinated me.
dribbling.
Y'all don't like Jamal Crawford, the crossover?
When did I say I didn't like him?
Damn.
I just
Okay.
don't like him as much as the one, the only.
Now let's do passing. Who we got
Kevon
there?
Austin.
There's,
Only one.
there's some good options.
Passing.
Magic Johnson.
2K19 Lonzo Ball.
Yes.
That was decent. That was
Simming a regular season, he averages like 15 assists per game. It's so stupid.
Did we just say Stockton for the Kendrick song?
I would say Magic Johnson.
I would say
Pass like John Stockton.
Big.
Nash won MVPs
Got
because
it.
of his assists.
That is true.
So I would go
Steve
Nash.
Yeah, I agree with
Nash
Steve Nash.
was the
Santa
reason.
Clara alum. Let's do it.
All right, Nash. Now let's do defense all around.
Kawhi Leonard.
He'd
no,
be up there.
No. You need a better defensive
Rudy
player.
Gobert.
Hear me out.
You need
Fate of the
like,
universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. I want Iguodala.
Shut up.
I would
think about,
think
like-
like a.
Did he not
Dwight
guard
Howard,
LeBron James the best he possibly could and win finals?
Oh, blocked by James. Ever heard
Matthew
of that? Exactly.
Dellavedova, perchance?
You said Matthew Dellavedova?
Oh, you're just thinking of his like series highlights where he's just like
No, but I would say
ultimate hype up white boy.
Kawhi?
Kawhi's up there. Yeah.
Sure,
No, I'm not trying to think about like someone who's also
Tim
good at
Duncan.
defense, too.
What about entertain me? Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace was a dog.
I would say like the Dwight Howards of the world, maybe.
Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's the answer. Because
Dwight
of
Howard.
Giannis' size. Dwight Howard.
Thank you.
Is Dwight.
I go with Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard was what? 3-time deep boy? Hold on.
Something like that.
I'm looking
I
up
think
the-
Ben Wallace was 4
Looking
times.
up the awards.
Ben Wallace was
Gobert's
4 or
4
5.
5-time All Defensive Team, 3-time Defensive Player of the. 3-time Defensive Player of the
He
Year.
got it back to back to back.
It's pretty good.
I'll go with D White.
Yeah. Especially because Dwight Howard was like he was like dispensable too.
Right, sure. Let's get it.
Okay. So defense, we got Dwight Howard. Final one. I just added this up top of my head. Layup package.
Kyrie Irving. Oh, did we already say Kyrie Irving?
There's that Curry.
That's why we should have said Jamal Crawford. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Layup package?
John Wall.
Don't you feel like you just said Jordan for this, right?
Well, when I say layup package, it could also be like dunk package. You know, just driving to the rim.
So who's the greatest?
Oh.
Derrick
Who's the
Rose.
man they made a whole movie about
Oh.
dunking?
It's
Wait,
either
Vince
Dominique
Carter?
Wilkins or Zach Levine.
Wait, who was the first one?
He's the greatest dunker of all time, but he dunked against no one impressive. In fact, he dunked against
Wait,
no
Tyler,
one.
who'd you say
Pass
before
Braun
Zach
here.
Levine?
Dominique Wilkins.
Dominic,
Tough go.
are we
I'm
gonna slide
honestly
past
kinda
Dr.
thinking-
J and Braun here?
I think Derrick Rose wouldn't be a bad idea.
Pre-me?
Just because
Jordan. How is it not Jordan?
I don't know how it's not Braun or Dr. J.
I gotta agree with Dr. J. I could go with Dr. J.
I feel like
Man,
I
you
get.
were saying earlier how he bounced it, palmed it, and then did like a.
Yeah, okay. Have you guys ever seen that clip? It's
No, I have not
I
seen
haven't
it's
seen
it.
that.
actually
No, I have not.
filthy. So I think just with Derrick Rose, it was the fact that he won an MVP.
Not Arjun, you said it before. Give me J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith, Knicks dunks.
Off a little
Knicks.
Henny. Off a little Henny.
Oh, we gotta
he
add
gets
clutch.
that way.
We gotta add clutch.
What about fundamental?
Timmy D.
I just think
Tim Duncan, you have no idea how good Tim Duncan was.
Okay.
You got no idea how good Tim Duncan was.
so. What are our options? We got Jordan,
Mhm.
Rose, Jordan or
Dr.
Rose,
J.
Dr. J.
Braun.
I think that you just have to remember just how good Jordan is.
Jordan's good, but like, I feel like we gotta have at least one of the goats in here. I feel
Jordan's
like
signature
that's just
shimmy.
not right.
I think Jordan actually might be a good clip because the types of layups that he did back in the day, you don't even see that today.
What about
He was
Max
just
McClung?
muscling through people. I feel like.
Like
about
some of
Max?
his highlights where he's literally like rim is bound here and he just flicks it up and he makes it. That is tough. His up and unders,
Yeah.
legendary.
Let's go.
about
Let's
Tony
go.
Snell?
Let's go. The goat.
Let's go with the GOAT, Jordan.
Yep.
All right. Jordan for layup package. And I think that's going to wrap up the
All right.
episode.
Here we go. Let's clip farm and hear it all out.
Okay. Building the best player ever. Build. We had Giannis. Athleticism. Amen Thompson. 3-point. Steph Curry. Mid-range. DeMar DeRozan. Post. Hakeem Olajuwon. IQ. Chris Paul. Dribbling. Kyrie Irving. Passing. Steve Nash. Defense. Dwight Howard. And finishing, we have Michael Jordan.
Just like the Rosen, if I shoot it, it goes, and that sounds great.
All right, that's our
Yeah,
list.
baby.
Make sure to comment down below what you guys think of that. What changes you'd make. All right, and with that, that's going to wrap up another episode of the Coastal Feuds podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Braden Plord. Alongside me, Charlie, Tyler, and Arjun. We'll see you guys next week.